Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. Washington hit another roadblock in reaching a deal on the debt ceiling. The House was expected to vote on the latest Republican proposal by House Speaker John Boehner today. But after learning the bill does not cut spending as much as first thought, the vote is now delayed until tomorrow. Lawmakers have until next Tuesday to reach an agreement. That's when the U.S. government will begin defaulting on its loans. Now, if America goes into default, the country's perfect AAA credit rating will be downgraded. Economists say every American will take a financial hit if this happens.
The domino effect starts as soon as that AAA rating is downgraded to AA. First up, your home loan adjustable rate mortgage rates could jump 0.5%. That's an extra $19,000 for the median home loan of $172,000. Next up, economists predict car loans could spike 1%. If you have a $20,000 five-year loan, you're in for an extra $540. Your retirement savings could take the next hit. The downgrade could cause the stock market to fall 6.3%, maybe more. A typical 401k investor in their 50s has $139,000 in their 401k. That would lose nearly $9,000. Then there's your job. A downgrade may even put that at risk, with projections of 640,000 job cuts. That would push unemployment up to 9.6%.
We appreciate you calling.
I'll certainly pass that along.
I would really like for him to hold the line against any deal in Congress.
I am calling to ask that you cooperate with the president's efforts.
Americans are getting frustrated. Calls are pouring into Congress members' offices. Many staff members say the phones just won't stop ringing. So what do you want to tell your congressperson? Tell us on Facebook. Leave your comments on the INN News page, and we may just share it with everyone on tomorrow's newscast. Meanwhile, new numbers by Rasmussen show just how people are thinking. Just 6% of likely U.S. voters now rate Congress performance as good or excellent. That's an all-time low. 61% think they're doing a poor job. And we have some more bad news. Gas prices have been inching upward. The average price per gallon of regular unleaded is $3.70. You'll pay in the mid-380s for mid-grade. Well, some of you are riding out gas prices in other ways. Brian Latham has that and more in tonight's Back to Business.
High gas prices have people changing the way they commute. Scooter sales jumped 37% at the beginning of the year to May. Those numbers come from the Motorcycle Industry Council. Many of the two-wheelers can get 80 miles to the gallon. So while the average American pays $177 a month on gas, scooter riders say they only spend about $20. Netflix says it expects most of its subscribers to stick with the movie service through its price hike. DVD and streaming video rental company has been flooded with complaints after announcing it's increasing its prices up to 60%. The company believes only some of its subscribers will cancel or downgrade their plans because of the price increase, which is scheduled to take effect in September. Some Detroit businesses are using cold, hard cash to lure workers to the city. It's part of a push to get more people to live downtown. The program gives first-time home buyers a $20,000 forgivable loan. Renters will receive a $2,500 first-year allowance and $1,000 the following year.
So far, 5 companies are participating in the incentive program. For Back to Business, I'm Brian Latham.
Time for global news now. The mayor of Kandahar, Afghanistan, is dead following a suicide bomb attack today. The Taliban claims it planned it. The mayor died while at a city hall meeting in the provincial capital. The suicide attacker had a bomb inside his turban and blew it up inside the city hall. One civilian was also hurt. Those pops you hear are part of a controlled blast on the Norway shooting suspect's farm in Norway. They were carried out after police discovered explosives during a raid on the farm. The man is accused of killing 76 people in an explosion in Oslo and a mass shooting at a youth retreat on Friday. He said he carried out the attacks to prevent the colonization of his country by Muslims. An unusual sight in South Africa, heavy snowfall is blanketing a large portion of the country. The storm held up traffic, leaving thousands of drivers stranded. Parts of the country typically get a light dusting once or twice a year, but this storm hit the eastern half of the nation, dumping up to 2 feet in some areas. More snow is expected to fall. And that's your Global News Now.
It's a crime that has captured the nation's attention. The acquittal sparked international outrage. The death of little Caylee Anthony tugged at our hearts. The not guilty verdict in her mother's murder trial is prompting action. A Florida activist is pushing for the implementation of Caylee's Law. Last night, Clint House talked about his personal relationship with Caylee and her mom, Casey. Tonight, more of his conversation with our Ryan Bass.
Clint House knew Caylee as well as Casey. In fact, Casey lived with Clint House and his roommate for the 31 days that Caylee went missing. He tells me Casey always had an explanation for her daughter's absence. He also says he formed a bond with the beautiful 2-year-old girl, a bond that has him on a special mission. Tonight, we continue our conversation with Clint House. He explains why he believes every state should enact Caylee's Law. Clint, tell me, what made you want to jump on board and join Michelle in the push for this law?
Well, I mean, it's, my direct emotional involvement in this case. I spent time with Caylee. I got to know Caylee before all of this happened. I was right there in the midst of everything. So, as soon as I found out what the verdict was and I saw what Michelle was doing, I automatically felt the need to jump on board. And I feel very strongly about this because it's not only for just Caylee, but it's for the thousands of other kids that go missing and are not reported or not found every single year. So it's not just about Caylee, it's about the other ones that you don't hear about in the media.
Now, you've launched a bunch of websites. Tell me about them. I know CayleeOverCasey.com and also RideForCaylee.com. Just tell me a little bit more about these websites. CayleeOverCasey.com is a website that I blog on, so I kind of keep people up to date with, how I'm feeling about certain things and, what we're doing as far as the fundraisers that we're doing for Amber Alerts, setting up all across the nation. I mean, the outpouring of love and support from people all over the country has just been unbelievable. And so we do have RideForCaylee.org. That's our foundation. We filed the paperwork for the bank accounts and everything today, so we should be ready to start taking donations by the end of the week. But yeah, those are the 2 websites that we got going on right now, and they're moving. I mean, we're making some progress and we're doing some pretty good things, and we're looking forward to the future right now. Now, are you pushing for this law to be passed in every state in the country, or do you believe it'll be a state-by-state law, or is this something that could potentially become a federal law? Well, when you get to the federal level, you're really dealing, very tricky with the Constitution. And, from what I've been researching and what I've been finding out is that, the federal government isn't supposed to pass laws that govern how we control our children. But so I don't think it's going to go federal. It might get introduced, who knows? But I would foresee it failing in the federal House and the Senate. But as far as all the 50 states go, we're at 34 right now, and so 16 more. They'll follow suit once they see all the other states passing it. So we hope to have it, to have Caylee's Law enacted by July 1st, 2012, in a majority of the states in the country. Clint House acknowledges there are people who believe he's doing this just for the national exposure. He says that's not true, and he won't let the negative comments stop him from promoting the law he says is essential in saving children's lives.
Thanks, Ryan. That was Ryan Bass reporting. By the way, similar laws are pending in at least 17 states. Still to come, a golden opportunity for McDonald's to go after health-conscious parents. What changes it's making to the menu. And a lot of teamwork that's bringing back a town after a tornado. Leading the pack, the Alabama football team. These stories and more next on INN.